This is the Rumors Are True podcast, brought to you by Pantheon Media Network.
Hey, this is Chris Simpson from Mineral Mountain Time and the Gloria Record, and you're listening to the Rumors Are True podcast.
Welcome, this is Jeremy Allen Gould, and I'm coming to you today to confirm between God and of man that the rumors you have all heard are true. I started this podcast to have a platform for the bands and artists that I've worked with in the past, as well as new musicians and artists that influenced myself and many others. The Rumors Are True podcast is an opportunity for the artists to tell their story their way. I'm still in the business of confirming rumors. I still love a good conversation, and I still freaking love music. So thanks again for joining me on this journey, and I hope you like what you hear. With that said, the rumors are definitely true. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this latest episode of the Rumors Are True podcast. My name is Jeremy, and today I welcome the legend himself, Bob Nanna. You know Bob from the bands Braid, Hey Mercedes, The City on Film, and a million other bands. Awesome conversation with Bob. So honored to have him on this podcast to bring me through his journey through music, as well as what he's got coming up in the future. So I hope you enjoy this latest episode with Bob Nanna. Bob, what is up? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm super honored to talk to you. Super stoked, man. Thank you.
I'm super stoked that you asked me to be on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Tell me what's new in your world. What's going on in your world right now?
Well, a decent amount is going on. In fact, I really should be packing right now because in 2 days I go to Japan.
Oh my gosh.
Hey Mercedes is doing Hey Mercedes is doing 4 shows in Japan, 4 shows in Tokyo actually. It's interesting because Braid did Japan 2 years ago and did the same thing, 4 shows all in Tokyo but at different venues. Tokyo, as you may have heard, really big, really big. So you can, you're able to play four shows that are insane. Not just the same people. So I leave on Saturday. We do 4 shows. I'm there for a week and then I'm back and then I'm home for a while. But then Hey Mercedes is doing some shows with Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, that's right. I saw that
in June. And then in July, Braid and Hey Mercedes are going to be going to the UK to do some shows. So it's pretty busy.
That sounds incredible. Japan, are those shows pretty wild?
Japan is the best. I really, everybody is just so excited and psyched that you're there and very sweet and very kind, but just like very energetic. I can't wait to go back. And there's a group of folks there called the Lost Boys. They're like a collective, and they bring, I think they're bringing Jay Robbins there soon, and they brought Braid, Hey Mercedes, Lifted Bells was the band I was in. They just do a great job of bringing most American bands over there for the folks there to enjoy.
Absolutely, that's amazing. That sounds really cool, and I'm sure that's such a fun trip for you guys.
It's great. It's really fun.
Awesome. Well,
and this particular time, my other bandmates are bringing like Todd, our bass player, is bringing his whole family, like
his
wife, his 2 kids. Like our roadie is bringing his wife and his kid. That's just me
amazing.
solo, but no, but we really try to make it a big deal.
That's really, really, really cool. I'm excited for you to do that and just be a part of that. And I'm sure those Jimmy shows will be insane. Wow, so wild to know that record's been out for so long, and it's just just cool that they're bringing their friends along. That's really cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and when that record came out, we were on tour with Jimmy Eat World because our Every Night Fireworks came out.
Oh, you know what? I saw that. I saw that in St. Louis, I think.
Yep. Rad. Mississippi Nights.
Yep, Mississippi Nights.
Mississippi Nights.
Yep. I was at that. Awesome. Well, let's talk about the bands, the records, the influences kind of pushed you in the direction that you've went in.
Yeah. Well, when I've always been a huge music fan. I've always been very interested in writing my own music, even from as I was a kid. I would make records for my doll. Like I had Cabbage Patch Kids, and I would make each of them had their own record. Like I would make a cassette, and they would each have their own sort of record. It would be like each one would have a different genre, right? So it's just like I've always been interested in that. But it wasn't until I was 15. It was on my 15th birthday. I saw Fugazi play here in Chicago. I was just going into high school, and so I met a few people that were going to be in the high school I was going to, and we all liked kind of like punk rock music, but just like music, and we liked Minor Threat. And so when Fugazi was coming through, we all went to see Fugazi. And then like at this particular show, and you could listen to the show, they have all of their shows online. This is 6/14/1990. During the show, they brought people on stage to play their instruments. Like for halfway through the set, I was just like, my little mind was absolutely blown. And I swear to God, I left the show being like, I have to start a band. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I want to do this for so long. At the time I was like, thought I was a drummer or whatever, but I was like, no, I think we should do this. The guys I went to the show with, I was like, let's just write some songs and have people over at your parents' place and play a show like this, because we were just so blown away. So really, Fugazi is just the number one major influence to me to play music live and to write my own music.
Wow, that's awesome. High praise for that band. Great band. Did you what besides Fugazi, was there any others that kind of really kind of made an imprint on you?
Yeah, Jawbreaker. Around that time, when I was getting into Fugazi, basically we always would we were really into zines, so we always had like the Maximum Rock and Roll, new zines that would come out, or Heart Attack was one that came out a little bit later.
Yeah.
And we would just cover to cover read it and learn about new bands and mail order records from the zines, from whatever labels we liked. And Lookout was one of them. And so a lot of the stuff from DC, like all the Discord stuff, Fugazi, Shudder to Think, Jawbox, and then also the stuff that was coming out of about San Francisco, like the East Bay, like Sam I Am, Jawbreaker, early Green Day, like these were just essential bands for me.
That's awesome, man. It's cool that you mentioned obviously some of those bands, because I feel like you can hear the influence in your music, just being influenced by, like you said, Fugazi, Jawbox, and all that. So I definitely can hear the influence of that. You mentioned playing with some friends and saying, "Hey, let's just do this." Kind of bring me through some of those early bands previous to Braid.
Yeah, these were bands where I played drums. Like I've always sort of been drawn to drums. However, I always have had like a decent voice. I like singing a lot too and writing lyrics. So it was sort of tough for me to be in this first particular band, which is called Slap Happy. We didn't really do it. We didn't really do a ton, but there was a band then I started, some friends and I, called Friction.
Okay.
And in the band Friction, it was a 3-piece, and we wanted to be Jawbreaker. And I sang and played drums. So it's, it wasn't the easiest thing. I mean, it wasn't hard for me to do, but it wasn't the best live experience. But we did put out a record on a label called Allied, who was from San Francisco. So we were actually on a comp with Jawbreaker at the time. We were, that we were happy to be in that company. And I'm not even sure why they did it. I think our bass player might have even just sent them a demo, and they were like, "Oh, we like it." But yeah, so that band actually was decently active. We went on one tour. We went on actually 2 tours, smaller tours, but still definitely getting out of the Chicago area. And we did put out a record. So that was Friction. And then when that was when I was in high school, and when I went to college, I went to Champaign-Urbana, the University of Illinois there, and I didn't want to bring my drums because there was really no place to play the drums. You had to be in the dorms, and it's like whatever. But I had this like ratty old guitar that like a friend's dad gave me. And so I thought, oh, I'll just bring the guitar and maybe I'll just play. Like I could still be in Friction. I'm just not going to bring my drums to Champaign. And then literally the first guy I met, like in Champaign, or like I met him through like corresponding on Maximum Rock and Roll, was a drummer. So, and it was Roy Ewing, who was the first drummer of Braid. So, it was like the first week I was there, I met the drummer who was going to be in Braid, and we were like, got to start a band. And I'm like, I'm going to play guitar for the band. I don't really play guitar, but we'll see how it goes. So that was that. And Braid played the first show in December of '93. And that was right when I started school.
Hey, this is Jeremy with the Rumors Are True podcast. We'll pause for a word from our sponsors. Stick around. You don't want to miss what's next.
So you're saying with Hilton Honors, I can use points for a free night stay anywhere?
Anywhere.
What about fancy places like the Canopy in Paris?
Yeah, Hilton Honors, baby.
Or relaxing sanctuaries like the Conrad in Tulum?
Hilton Honors, baby.
Ooh, what about the 5-star Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives?
Are you gonna do this for all 9,000 properties?
When you want points that can take you anywhere, anytime, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam, you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every Year After follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every Year After. Streaming June 10th, only on Prime.
So where did the band name come from? And what was the early beginning of Braid like? Was it the songs come out pretty quickly? Was it something that you had to kind of find your sound?
The songs came out really, really quickly. I don't know. This is just it's a blessing and a curse when you're in a band. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's maybe it's me or my influence or something like that. But I don't like jamming. Like I want to make a song, start at the beginning, and I want there to be an end to the song, and we're gonna make this song, and then it's complete. Like here's this thing that we made, and it is complete. And we put it on a record, and then we write another one, and here it is, and it's complete, and put it on. But it went pretty fast, and that's a testament to Roy, the drummer, and Todd, who was playing bass, or who plays bass forever and is in Hey Mercedes, one of my best friends. So it came pretty quickly. Like I said, we were playing our first show in within 2 months. And then as far as the name goes, at that point in time, it was like in vogue to either have a one-word band name or like a really long band name. Like our favorite band was not only Fugazi. Gage was a band from the Chicago area that was really, really influential to us. So we loved Gage, we loved Fugazi, we loved Hoover, Lincoln. These were all like just Jawbox, one name, one word. And we literally just, I really do think we just looked in a dictionary and found Braid, and we were just like, how about Braid? That sounds good. And we were like, cool, let's just do that. And it like I said, it just worked because we just wanted a one-word band name.
Yeah, and it fits the music and the band in general too. I feel like just just
that's kind of
yeah, it really does fit. You guys wind up signing with Polyvinyl Records. Kind of bring me through that. And was there any other labels interested? How did the Polyvinyl come about?
The first Braid show that we played, like I mentioned, was in December of 1993. It was in Danville, Illinois, which is near Champaign. And the guy who set up our show was Matt Lunsford, who was, in this skate kind of crew in Danville, and he was bringing bands to Danville, and we played this like a field house at a park. But he was doing that, and he was also doing a zine called Polyvinyl Press. Him and some friends of ours. So Matt Lunsford he's like the CEO. He's the founder, CEO of Polyvinyl. He put on our first show, and he's my age. Like we were at that point in time, we were 17, 18 years old. So I've known him since then. I'm 50 now, and I think he's 50 as well. But like, so we've known him for a long, long time. And this was before he even had a label. He was just doing this as a zine. And so the first Braid record we actually put out on a different label, a friend's label from Chicago called Divot. And then the second record we put out on a label, a sort of a established label in Champaign called Mud. And then when we were doing the third record, Polyvinyl has since reissued all of these. So they're basically all kind of on Polyvinyl now. But yeah, so when we were going to do the third record, Frame and Canvas, Matt wanted to do it. And at that point in time, he had started the label, and it was going well. So we sort of like trusted him. I mean, we could have trusted him from day one. And he actually put out like some 7 inches for us before that. But it made a lot of sense because he had just been a friend of ours for so long. And now he had this label that was like doing well enough to put out our record. And all we wanted to do was tour. So like, just make sure we got records,
Sure. Totally, man. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the first record, Frankie Welfare, Boy Age 5. Kind of your thoughts, memories from recording that record. What was that like? First experience, I guess, doing a full length. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, Friction did a full length.
In terms of Braid,
for Braid, yeah. Well, we had a lot of freedom because we recorded it with a friend of ours who had like a home studio set up. And he was an amateur engineer, sound engineer. And so he sort of liked us. We actually practiced at his house too. And I think he wanted to record us almost for like practice, like to practice his,
his craft,
right? And he was doing it all on digital, like the digital format, ADAT and stuff like that. And I don't know exactly. It wasn't Pro Tools, but it was something kind of similar. So we would just go there most nights and start and record. So we had this at our disposal for free, basically. And so we kind of took advantage of it to an extent to be like, let's just record 26 songs, one for every letter of the alphabet. Like, cause we just had so much time on our hands and we were like kind of dumb, like we just had like too many ideas, I think. So we decided to do that. And then we just made it a project and got through it.
Did it turn out the way you guys wanted it to?
Yeah, but it's not easy to listen to like now because we put like our friends band snippets of our friends bands in between each song. It's a lot to listen to. So in retrospect, it probably would be a decent album, one album with like 10 songs, but it's too much.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
too
I'm sure
long.
I'm sure your age at that time was just, you're not as seasoned obviously at that time to kind of, snip it where you need to snip it.
We needed an editor.
What was the touring like for this? Did you guys hit the road at all? And who were you playing with?
Immediately. Yeah, I mean, the touring I did with Friction was so fun and rewarding. And also like we met a lot of people, right? So when Braid, I was like, Braid's going to tour, and I already have all these people kind of lined up that could do shows for us in North Carolina and Florida, and New Jersey and stuff like that. So when we were able to tour, we would tour. So during my spring break, during summer break, we were always going out on tour. And, we were playing, we played a lot of shows with Castor. They were another local band from Champaign. So we brought them on tour and did a lot of shows with them. And then, I mean, we just toured the whole US like a half a dozen times.
That's awesome. Did you feel like, when the record came out, were people knowing the music when you were on the road, or was it still kind of, were you having to play to the audience and kind of sell yourself at that point?
To an extent. I mean, because we were so in tune with like the zine culture.
Sure.
We wanted to make sure that we got our names in the zine. Like we wanted to make sure our records got reviewed in that zine so that, when we came and played Insert City here, there would be already some people that would like want to hear us or want to see us. But you know what? The first few tours weren't great, but that's the reason we went on, like we would do like 2 or 3, because we would come through and be like handful of kids, and then like next time it'd be like maybe like twice as many.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the next record, The Age of Octane. Thoughts and memories from recording that. Obviously, a step up, from the previous record. And this is a fantastic record, by the way. Kind of bring me through recording this.
Well, I mean, it's a little similar to Frankie Welfare Boy in that we recorded it at the same place with the same person. I think he may have upgraded some of his equipment. But we definitely upgraded our like professionalism.
Sure.
We got better at our instruments. We definitely got better as a cohesive band from all that touring, and we got it better at editing. So we knew we wanted to make a 10 to 12 song record, and we sort of mapped out how we wanted the record to go. Like just like, how do we want it to start? Do we want it to start with a slow thing or whatever? How do we want it to end? Which we do pretty much for all the records I've ever done. So it was definitely everything was more of a conscious choice as opposed to just like, we got the freedom to do anything. Let's do everything. So for Age of Octane, we were a little more
disciplined. Yeah. Did this record turn out the way you wanted it to? And kind of what are your thoughts on it, looking back on it?
Better. Yeah, it did. And that it's a lot easier to listen to now. We still play, a couple of those songs. It's as an album, it's a better
representation.
It's a better capsule of that time. And like I said, it's easier to listen to.
Yeah. What was the touring like for this? And at this point, you mentioned kind of going to shows and then going back and more kids would show up. Were these shows getting a little bit bigger at this point?
Yeah, this was around the time when we were finding sort of kinship in some of the other bands that were doing a lot of the nonstop touring, like the Get Up Kids, and so or Raina Maria, like these are bands that we would end up doing a lot of shows with, a lot of touring with. So that was that was when that was starting to happen. We went to Europe with the Get Up Kids at this point in time. We started to, it was at that point in time we met Jay Robbins. So, we were already starting to write songs that would eventually be on Frame and Canvas. We never really ever stopped writing.
Sure.
We would put out Age of Octane and then go on tour, and we were already starting to write. I remember writing songs on that tour that became songs from Frame and Canvas. So yeah, we were just starting to really get a community going.
I think I saw you guys. I know I saw you guys, but I think it might have been around this time in Boulder with the Get Up Kids, Club 156.
156,
yeah. And I think you guys did a solo show that day at the Double Entendre in Denver. That was, I remember
something.
Paul, yeah.
Anyway,
and that was my birthday, and I remember specifically you were like, "Is it anyone's birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah."
No way.
Yes.
So you were at that record store show?
Yes, I was at that.
Oh my God! You were at that show. You were at Boulder. You were in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I think I saw you in Jacksonville too. I saw you at the Moto Lounge, I believe.
I was going to say Jackrabbits.
No, I hadn't moved at that point, but I think you played Moto Lounge one time at least.
Probably. This is a fun game for me. You name a city, I'll name one of the venues.
I think 12 Hour Turn played with you guys, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 12 Hour Turn. I remember them. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Frame and Canvas. Great record as well. Love this one. Kind of thoughts, memories recording this record. This is a record for many people that's probably their favorite from your catalog. So kind of bring me through recording this record.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned we met Jay Robbins when we were on the previous tour. And so when it came time to do the next record and we had Polyvinyl who were going to support it and pay for the recording, we were like, well, we want to do it with Jay Robbins. And I think at that point, Jay had done Nothing Feels Good, the Promise Ring record. I know he had done the Texas is the Reason record. We were like, we really want to do it with Jay. And so we drove to Washington, D.C., and played shows on the way.
Sure.
And then we recorded at Inner Ear, which was a dream for us because that's where Fugazi recorded all their records. With Jay, in 5 days, we recorded the whole record and mixed it in 5 days. And then, because it's like Polyvinyl had a small budget, we're just like, we just need to get it done. But we luckily we were very well, like the songs were road tested. We could nail them pretty quickly in a take or two. So it was a lot, but I don't remember it being like burnt out and totally frantic. I think, but it was a lot to do in 5 days. And then we immediately went, we got done and went on tour.
What was it like working with Jay Robbins? Did he bring a lot to this record, and did it turn out the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it really did. We were really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, Jay brought, I mean, he still is, but at that point in time, he was like a hero, a god to us. Yeah. We just adored his work in Jawbox. Not, the work he's done on some of our friends' records, but just like, I just remember just kind of having trouble speaking to him sometimes because I was just so in awe of him. But, all that being said, he's the sweetest, most wonderful.
He's great.
You just spoke with him. He's amazing. And so he made us feel just at home, and he got the best performances out of us and had just really great ideas too.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about the record looking back on it?
I love it. I like it. I mean, I like it. I love it. Like, I never listen to it. Like, I don't really listen to my old records at all, unless I have to relearn a song from an old record. But I'm really happy with how it turns out or how it turned out. And, like Age of Octane, you can listen to the whole thing.
Sure.
Not like Frankie Welfare, but you can listen to the whole thing, and it's a nice representation of that time.
That's awesome. Touring for this, you mentioned going on the shows are getting bigger, I would assume, and is still kind of the usual suspects. Get Up Kids, Raina Maria. What's the touring like for this record? I feel like it's pretty big for you guys.
It was Yeah, bigger. We went on tour with Burning Airlines, which was Jay's band after Jawbox. We went on tour with like Discount, which the band from Florida. We did like a run of shows with Less Than Jake and All.
Oh wow,
which was kind of weird, but like fun because I really liked All. Like I still do like All and the Descendants. They're like one of my favorite bands. But we did a run of shows with Seaweed.
Great band.
Around this, yeah, I love Seaweed so much. We did a bunch of tours, but and so the record came out in like April of '98, and by June of '99 we had broken up.
What led to the breakup from your perspective? Kind of bring me through that.
Yeah, just we were really burnt out and I think it had a lot to do with just our interpersonal vibe relationships. We were go for so long, and for a lot of that time we were actually living together too. So like we would go on tour and then go back to our house and be in the same. We were kind of like sick of each other because we just didn't give each other the space we needed. Mm-hmm. Like there was no such thing as boundaries. It was just like go. Like I just think we were just couldn't
burn out,
couldn't function together, and it was a shame. And like I'm glad that we now are old enough to give each other the space that we need and like not be so, I don't know, inconsiderate.
Sure.
Like kind of we were just like, we were kids basically. Just go. And just wheels fell off.
Was that difficult for you? Being in I feel like a pretty successful band, and a lot of people, that's our identity at times. Was that difficult for you to not be Bob from Braid at that point, or were you elated to be relieved, or were you relieved?
No, I wasn't elated. It wasn't difficult because we had already, like, when Braid decided to break up, Hey Mercedes basically started that day. Like, so Hey Mercedes was 3 of us from Braid plus a different person. So when Braid, we played these final shows this weekend in August. By that time, Hey Mercedes had already started making music. Not releasing stuff, but we had been practicing.
Sure. Well, obviously, another great band, Hey Mercedes. Kind of bring me. It sounds like you guys kind of just, like you said, started this and it continued after Braid. Kind of bring me through signing with Vagrant. What the thought process was that, and was there any other labels interested?
I don't know if there are any labels interested, to be honest, but like Get Up Kids were our good friends, and they had just signed with Vagrant, and I think then they put out Something to Write Home About, and we're really happy with the folks at Vagrant. And so when Hey Mercedes was a band, they were like, sign to Vagrant. Like we'll hook you up. Come to. I mean, they didn't live in California, but they were like hooked it up to where Hey Mercedes flew to California and did like a bunch of shows in the area and some met the Vagrant people. And and they Get Up Kids basically talked us into signing to Vagrant. But like we're happy we did it. We were happy with
it. Was a booming
happened.
Label at that point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great records that they had put out beforehand and then after that. So you signed with Vagrant, you start to work on your first full length for that, Every Night Fireworks. Kind of bring me through that record. It's a fantastic record as well.
Thanks.
Kind of bring me through recording that and what that was like.
I mean, we wanted to do our first record with Vagrant. We were like, we want to do it with Jay Robbins. And so, but what was great is since Vagrant had a little more money than Polyvinyl to put towards our recording, so we did it in at a place called Pachyderm in near Minneapolis, like south of Minneapolis.
Okay.
And it was where In Utero was recorded,
Wow.
or most of In Utero was recorded in like one of the Alkaline Trios. It's a pretty famous studio, and it was a very cool sort of destination, almost, because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the woods. There's a big house with a pool in the basement, and like it's sort of like a lodge sort of vibe. And then there's this separate building where the studio was. So you would live in this house and then go walk over this like rock path to the studio. It was beautiful, just idyllic, wonderful, wonderful place. So we were there. I think we were there for maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So much longer than 5 days of frame and canvas. But it was just wonderful. I say it was longer than 5 days, but that being said, we were pretty efficient, and we recorded a lot of songs. Again, just like Braid, Hey Mercedes wasn't as road tested, but we made sure that we were really, really prepared for recording. So we knew what we wanted to do. Everything was well practiced. And so we were able to knock out a bunch of songs pretty quickly. And Jay's just, again, we were already used to working with Jay. He was used to working with us. And so it was a lot of fun.
Did this record turn out the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, it did. It's, I love this record a lot, and I just love just the experience of making it. I like the artwork a lot. Like, it was a really fun time. And, when we put it out, we were on this Vagrant America tour, and then we went on tour with Jimmy Eat World, and we did a bunch of shows with New End Original, and we had like we did like a huge tour with Saves the Day and Thursday. Like, it was really a really fun time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with Vagrant behind you at this point, I'm sure it's kind of, not to slight Polyvinyl, because Polyvinyl is incredible, but it seemed like it was kind of a step up somewhat in terms of just like bigger visibility, I assume. Did you guys notice that on the road at all, in terms of like people into the music, into the tunes?
Yeah.
Was it easier to get those records?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the first tours we did was this Vagrant America tour, which was just like a rolling circus of just all of these amazing bands. So like you would, it toured the whole US. So like,
I think I saw that too, actually. No, I think I saw it in Kansas City at El Torreon.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like Saves the Day, Dashboard, Anniversary, Hot Rod Circuit, us, Alkaline Trio for a little bit of it. It was like Ghetto Kids for a little bit, Reggie. It was really fun, and just like I said, just a rolling circus, and everyone was just having a blast. And so we were really happy, because like if we were going on tour by ourselves, we wouldn't be drawing that many people, but it was this huge, almost like festival.
Like a Vagrant family festival.
Yeah, it was so great.
Hey, this is Jeremy from the Rumors Are True podcast. Hang right there. Here's a word from our sponsor.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Sponsors. Were you writing songs for the new record while you were touring, kind of like you mentioned before, for Loses Control? Did you kind of bring me through that record, what that was like, and what was that pretty? No. You just kind of felt like you were on just crushing it at the time?
Sort of. We didn't do much. We didn't really do any writing when we were on the tour for Every Night Fireworks, and I'm not really sure why, but we were just sort of enjoying the time we had at the time at that point in time, and we had more songs that hadn't even been released yet. Like, we recorded a lot of songs that with Every Night Fireworks, and eventually they came out on like an EP. But like in 2002, I believe. So it was like 2 years of pretty solid touring with Hey Mercedes. We split with the guitar player, and so we brought in a new guitar player for Loses Control. So when we started writing songs for Loses Control, it was a new unit with our new guitar player, and we actually went to a like a lake house, our friend's lake house in like north Wisconsin, like kind of by the upper peninsula of Michigan. He had this like lake house, or his family did, or something. And he was like, well, you guys can go up there. And it was like October maybe, or something like that. It was like getting a little chilly. Go up there and, demo some songs. So we went up there and we did a lot of the writing for Loses Control at that time.
With this new guitar player that came in, was it a natural fit? Was it, did you feel like nothing really changed?
Yeah, it was a natural fit. I mean, he was a better fit with us. I've said it before. It's tough. Like Damon, Todd, and I, who were in Braid and now in Mercedes. I was like, we're not easy to be in a band with, because we've been in bands together. We've been in bands together for so long. We have like unspoken communications. Like we're almost telepathic when it comes to like writing songs. Like I know what you're going to do, or I know what, or like, he's like, oh, I know what you want me to do. You want me to do this drum fill, or like, oh, you want to do this, or, like, so a random person coming into that environment might just feel like, what? I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, because we would do things where we would be like, all right, well, let's play the song up until the point where we know what we're doing, and then we just see what happens. It's just like, if you were just in the room with us, you'd be like, what? What are you talking about? They're like, no, just do something.
Yeah.
And that worked a lot for us, because we would get to that point and one of us would do a thing and be like, whoa, what was that? That was cool. Like, and so we would go on with that. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that the Mike, who's, the guitar player of Hey Mercedes now, was able to hang with that. And it was easy to write songs with him in that manner.
Did this record turn out the way you wanted it to? And how do you feel about it looking back on it?
Well, sort of. I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out, but previous to that record, when it came time to make a record, and at that point in time, I had made 5 or 6 handful. When I was getting ready to record, I would make a meticulous list, song by song, of like what kind of like a vision I had for like a song for this part and for that guitar, the sound of this guitar, and I want a harmony here, and I want like a sample here, and this vocal I want to sound like it's underwater or something, stuff like that. And I would just literally line by line by line, to the point where, like, when I brought it to Jay when we were doing Every Night Fireworks, he's like, what the hell? He's like, you just produced the record. And I was like, I didn't, Jay ended up doing it, but just like he was making a joke, because I'm like, wow, this is a lot of notes. So when we did Loses Control, we were recording with these guys, Paul Kolderi and Sean Slade, who recorded The Bends by Radiohead, and like a bunch of other just classic records, right? And we were recording at this place called Camp Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to do any of that. We're going to see what happens. Like they do it.
They know what. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Thing. Yeah. And I wasn't happy with they didn't do that. I think that this isn't, saying anything bad or disparaging about them, but their method was kind of like, as it goes, how are you feeling? This is what we're going to do. And I was like, I'm the guy that like meticulously plans it all ahead of time. So I kind of freaked out a little bit halfway through recording Loses Control, because I was like, it's funny, it was called Loses Control.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
Because I was just like, they don't have the plan. Like, they're coming up with it now. And like I said, they're brilliant engineers and producers, but it just freaked me out. So I felt like I had to scramble a little bit to do that. And so I felt like really kind of behind. So I'm happy with how the record came out, but it's because I didn't do this sort of like pre-production, so to speak. I don't know. There are things in it that I don't know if I would have done the same.
Yeah, that's tough, because I mean, it sounds like you mentioned, they probably wanted you to be you guys, and they could kind of work with that, and you were thinking, oh, the bends, they've created the bends, you know. It's like, I would think the same thing. I mean, it's like, hey, Jesus, take the wheel, like, you know, just one of those things.
What I should have done is just done my thing anyway, just be ready for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, at one point, maybe I would have been like, throw my shit out the window because they're killing it. But at the time I was just like, I don't know. I'm not, I just felt like I was out of control.
Do you feel like both these records on Vagrant, and I'm not even searching number-wise, but do you think they did pretty well sales-wise? I mean, I feel like I saw it everywhere. I mean...
I have no idea.
Everyone says that.
I don't know. No, I really don't. Like,
I believe you.
I don't. I really don't. And I don't.
I know you don't make records to make, sell millions. I know you make records because you love music and you want to write good songs. So I'm sure that,
I want people to buy them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to buy them and own them and appreciate them. But I was just like, I can't. I don't know. I can't, like, Wednesday morning we get up and we check the numbers. Like, no, I don't know. I think that just takes a little bit of the joy out of it. I don't mind. People have to do that, right? Like, labels have to do that because they need to exist, right? They need to make their money back at least, right? So I don't just, I'm not saying that's like evil empire shit, but like, especially with the labels we're working with, but like, I just can't. I can't.
It's probably the last thing on your mind. Yeah.
No, and I don't like hearing about that. I don't like hearing about, like, oh, you got to post because you didn't sell a lot of tickets to the show, or like, we want to really sell more tickets to the show. And I'm just like, God, I don't want to know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this is a me problem. And luckily, and I'll say this, and how grateful and lucky I am to be in the bands I am with the people that, the wonderful people that are in my bands, like Damon and Todd and, Chris and Mike, because they handle the certain parts of being in a band that I can't stand.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, Todd is a brilliant merchandiser. And I'm not saying like he's, whatever, he's great at like selling wares at a market, like, just like he knows, he understands like the economy behind like pressing records, putting out records, what makes sense for this, that, and the other, and just is just, and logistically getting merch for tours and stuff is not easy, but he loves it and he does a fucking awesome job at it. Damon is great at like the tour management's part of thing, like of everything, like making sure that there's hotel or rides to places, right? We're going to Japan, right? He made sure that we know there's an app called Master Tour that has all the itinerary in it. So I can go in there and I can see the address of the hotel we're staying at, and I can put it in my shit, so I know, like, oh, well, here's this store that's near there or whatever. If I want to, here's where the train station is, like, so. And also, he works with like the booking agents and stuff. Like, I don't want to talk about like guarantees or this and that. And it's just like, someone else please handle that, because I just can't.
Well, that's cool that you all have your own little thing. I think it's cool. It sounds like it works, and it does.
It does.
What a blessing.
I agree.
What kind of led to the end of this band? The two full lengths, and is it hiatus or the breakup? What is this like?
This was a hiatus. Like, so Hey Mercedes was, again, pretty nonstop from 2000 through 2004, half with our original guitar player and half with our new guitar player. In 2004, Braid did a tour, like a reunion tour sort of thing, back when those weren't so common. Like now everybody's doing everyone breaks up and then does a reunion tour. And I was like, oh God, this is great. But when we were doing it, people were like, this is not.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, people were happy, but there were some people that were just like not happy about it, thought it was lame as shit that we were doing it. But like, we had a good time. Did this whole tour with Minus the Bear in 2004. And then we all, like, it sort of happened again. We were all just kind of sick of each other. So we sort of, at that point in time, that's when I started doing more solo stuff.
Yeah.
But Hey Mercedes never like officially broke up.
Yeah. Just took a break.
Well, sort of. And then like we played a few shows here and there. And then, we
just not nonstop touring. Just,
no,
just spot days.
Well,
yeah.
You get to a certain age and your records now celebrate anniversaries. Right? So it's like, well, 20th anniversary, let's go on tour. And they're like, cool, we'll play this whole album that we wrote 20 years ago. It's fine. But like, I do want to write new music with either or band,
Sure.
I really do. And then, so Braid eventually got back together and did a record in 2014.
Yeah, I was gonna say No Coast. Yeah, kind of signing with Top Shelf. I think I saw you guys around this time too. Now that I think about at Wrecking Ball in Atlanta. I was at that. Yes, it was. Fest. Oh, absolutely. Kind of bring me through getting back together, what that was like. Obviously, healing the wounds and putting this record, No Coast, out.
Yeah, around like 2009, 2010. Like Chris, the guitar player of Braid.
Sure.
We lost touch. Like he was doing his own thing, and I think he moved away for a little while, came back. We lost touch, lost contact with each other. And then I don't know, we started like, there was this like a bar in Chicago called Bar DeVille, and they wanted to do like a DJ emo night. Again, these didn't exist at the time.
You guys are ahead of the game.
I know. We're ahead of the reunion tour thing. We're ahead of the emo DJ night. But anyway, so we wanted to do this DJ night, and I don't know if Chris like came to one of them out of the blue, or that might have been the case. I don't remember. But at some point we were just like, let's just do these together. So it became like Chris and I are DJing at this place, Bar DeVille, and we're playing like old emo and punk music and shit like that. But it was when we were there, we were just like talking about playing more music together. And so we decided to write more Braid songs, and Todd and Damon were on board. And so that was when we decided to do that. And at the time we were going to maybe do it on polyvinyl, but it was a weird time because polyvinyl was before American football.
I was going to say it had to have been
before that. It was before that, but they were on a different sort of trajectory.
Sure.
That was like a little bit away from the music that Braid was playing. So it just, for some reason, like we kind of mutually decided to not do it on polyvinyl, us and polyvinyl. Then we ended up doing it on Top Shelf, and we thought that was a good idea because they were more of an up and coming label. Like I didn't want to happen was for us to be like a nostalgia band.
Yeah.
Like that. I wanted to be like, I want to make sure this record is like, sounds like we're not phoning it in, which is why we called it No Coast. Like, and that was why we recorded it with Will Yip.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's great.
So because we just wanted to, I don't know. And when we toured No Coast, we were playing with, newer bands like Prawn and Signals Midwest and The World's a Beautiful Place. Mm-hmm. And, whatever newer bands that were probably more influenced by Frame and Canvas. But yeah, so I don't know. That was pretty important to me.
Well, working with Will Yip, what was that like? I feel like he's a younger guy. You know, for working with a younger guy for this. What was that like working with him?
It was really great. He's just so seasoned, such a seasoned engineer, where he was very like almost a little hands off, letting us sort of do our thing, but just always being there to capture it. You know, he worked a lot on the actual sounds that were on the record, but the actual like performances and stuff, it was like, I mean, now that I think about it, he did actually work us really hard. Like I remember singing, you know, you do a line and he would stop and be like, that was flat. And then it would start again. And I'd be like, okay. And I would do it again. And he'd be like, that was a little sharp, do it again. So he was like, kind of like that. So there was actually some times where I was just like losing my mind a little bit, but he pushed us. Yeah. But he was like, quick. And I liked working in that fashion. I did do the thing where I went through the whole record.
I was going to ask you, did you prepare?
I did. I sure did. And, you know, I'm happy I did. But I think it was a better sort of like collaborative sort of thing where it was like my notes were taken into consideration and used, but like so were his.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, did this record turn out the way you guys wanted it to? And kind of how do you feel about it looking back on it?
Yeah, I'm happy with the way it turned out. The one thing that I wish we would have toured it more. By this point in time, we're all older and have, to an extent, families, jobs, other commitments and stuff. So we weren't able to tour as much as we would have normally. Like Todd, for instance, is a school teacher. So he's unavailable for most of the year. He's available for the summers, but he's unavailable for most of the year. So we weren't able to tour it a lot. So there are some songs on the record that I think are really good, but we just never were able to play so much live.
And you mentioned touring with the younger bands. What was that like? I mean, were they kind of in awe of you guys? I mean, I know you can't speak for them, but like, what was that like touring with the younger generation, I guess?
Fun. It was fun. You know why? Because I felt like they had their shit together more than we did when we were their age. And I'm not sure why. Like they sounded, all these bands that I'm like, I can think of like Into It, Over It, Pity Sex. These are bands that we went on tour with. They sounded great and like better than we sounded at that when we were just starting or whatever. And at times maybe better than we sounded at that show. I was just in awe at how just professional they sounded and just incredible at their like instruments and their the sound. I was never, to this day, I feel like inadequate in terms of my sound, and to an extent my guitar playing. Like I can sing. I'm happy with like being able to sing and like play the show, but like I see some of these bands playing. I was just like, there's no way I can play that guitar line, or just like the bands like American Football that do like crazy tunings. So I was like, no fucking way, I can't do it. I can barely play in standard, man.
You mentioned you'd want to do more music. What is any thought of new Braid material? Any new thought of any Hey Mercedes material? What does that kind of look like?
I mean, I'm writing stuff that I'm sharing with everybody. It's tough though. It's tough because we just don't have the time to, it's not like we get together every Wednesday night and practice. No, like Damon lives in Nashville. I live in Chicago. Todd lives in Milwaukee. Mike lives in Cleveland. We need a more, I don't know.
I get it.
We just can't
logistics
do it.
Of it all. Yeah, no, I get it.
But I still write, and I've been still writing songs and sharing them with everybody. But like I just need to maybe get better at being a bit of a ringleader, or like, I don't know, just making sure that everyone sort of stays on task, and including me.
Yeah, no, I get that. You mentioned your solo stuff. Kind of bring me through some of your solo stuff and sure. Kind of a synopsis on that.
Yeah. So when Braid broke up that first time, I took it upon myself to keep touring. Like, I just wanted to keep traveling. I love traveling so much.
Sure.
And so using the bands as like a reason to go on tour. And so when Braid broke up, I had already kind of written a few solo-ish songs, but I just wanted to get back on tour. So I wrote kind of a set worth of songs that I went to, did a West Coast tour with some friends, and then eventually recorded a record with all of the songs that I had recorded or I had written, and did a little bit of touring with that. I just wanted to keep touring and making new stuff. So I called it The City on Film because, I was like, no one's going to buy a shirt that says Bob Nanna on it. But at the time, there was like Bright Eyes and Dashboard Confessional, right? These are bands that like, it's one person, but they have a name.
And it's not one name. It's a longer name.
No, it's like a band. It's like a band. It's really just one person. Yeah. And, so I did that for a while, and and then eventually I put out a record under my actual name because I'm not interested in selling shirts anymore. But I want it to be a little kind of unfussy. I just want to be able to put out music when I can. And like I said, I'm always kind of writing stuff. So, doing the solo thing. And I for a while I did some touring with Owen, right? Owen's another example
great
of somebody who's one person, and it's kind of a nom de plume. I just wanted to have the opportunity to play solo shows when I could.
Do you enjoy playing solo shows more than with the bands?
No. The show, no. The touring aspect of it, yeah. Because there's no equipment. There's no, it's
you
just
gotta do whatever you want. Yeah.
You do whatever you want. You've got freedom to do a lot of stuff. You could play whatever you want when you're on stage. You don't have I said that it wasn't as good, but just you have a lot of freedom. You could talk more and stuff. But I do enjoy more the sort of vibe of being in a band and everyone's like clicking together.
Yeah.
More. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a difficult question.
Okay, I can't
wait. Favorite song you've ever written, and maybe your favorite record you've been a part of?
I'll start with the record I've been a part of, and this might be, this is what I'm going to say now, and it might not make a ton of sense, but I was in a band called Lifted Bells. I just sang for Lifted Bells, and we put out a record in 2017, I believe, called Minor Tantrums, and it was on Run for Cover.
Oh, cool.
I just adore that record because I spent a lot of time on the lyrics and on the vocals for that record. And the band that was the rest of the band were just so on, how I was mentioning that these bands open for us, they play better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the band, the guitar, the members of the band Lifted Bells were just phenomenal. I mean, they still are musicians. And I was so happy they asked me to sing. They were like, do you want to maybe sing for us? And at the time I was like, yeah, sure, send it to me. And at the time I was like, these kids, it's going to sound like shit. But I listened to it and I was just like, oh my God, it's incredible. I was like, I can't believe it. I was like, yes, I do want to sing for your band. So really, really happy with how that record
I need to check this one out. I didn't realize you had put it out. I need to hear this.
Bells, yeah. Minor
Very
Tantrums.
cool. I'll check it out.
And then the song, it's tough. I'm gonna say, and this is the kind of thing that probably will change from day to day. I'm gonna say Our Weekend Starts on Wednesday from Every Night Fireworks is I think it's a really great.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I'm happy with it because it has elements of just like a little tiny bit of math, but it's catchy and it's got a fun, positive.
What are your thoughts on the influence and the legacy of Braid and Hey Mercedes, and just kind of your whole encompassing career? So kind of maybe the legacy and the influence you've had on music.
I mean, thank you for saying that. It's tough. I don't really know what to say other than I'm happy that at the age 50, like I've been playing music now professionally / semi-professionally since I was 15, 16, right? So I'm bad, I should be better at math with 35 years, right? I'm happy that I'm still doing it. And I'm happy that people are still want to see it. And now we're playing shows where it's like people are coming to the show that are our age that saw us play in the 90s, but they're bringing their kids.
That's cool.
And the kids are either excited to see us or just like, yeah, fucking mom and dad brought me here. But like, so I think that our longevity helps. And what I think is most important to me is a little bit less about like, hey, we want to sound like Braid, or we like this song so much we want to play a song that sounds like it or something like that. Me seeing Fugazi at age 15 and seeing them bring people on stage to play and be like, immediately be like, I gotta be in a band. That's the thing I want my legacy sort of to be. I want it to be like, they make me want to play music. They make me want to write music. I want, like, one of the other things that like was just incredible to me as a young wannabe musician was when I would go see a local band player, and there was a place called McGregor's when I was in high school that like all the touring bands came and played McGregor's, and they had an all ages show every Sunday, and we went to every fucking all ages show they had on Sunday, and it was like Green Day, Jawbreaker, Offspring, Screeching Weasel, Sludgeworth, like Smoke, like, and sometimes there weren't a lot of people there. Like when I saw Green Day the first time there, they had to be like, hey, come close to the stage. Like they weren't, but like, because we didn't know Green Day, we were just there because it was the all ages show. We wanted to see bands. But after every show, those bands would like talk. They would come out and talk to you, like me. Like I'm just a 15-year-old dipshit at this show, and they're not being rock stars. They're like being cool. They want to, they want to talk. They want to hang out. And then that just made me again want to be like, fuck, I could do that. I could do this.
Yeah.
Gave me the confidence. And so that's, I think, the thing that I'm most, if I could be proud of something like this, I think that would be the thing I'm most proud of. Like, I just want people to see us play and talk to us afterwards and then be like, I could do that. I want to do that.
That's so cool. I love that answer. Yeah, no, I really do. It's, I mean, I can hear it in your voice, and it's in the fact that, I feel like even in this conversation, it's never been about, like you said, you want people to buy your records, but it's never been about being the biggest band in the world. It's about, leaving a legacy for people to love your music, young and old.
Yeah. I don't want to be the biggest band in the world. I just, a lot, that sounds kind of miserable.
Yeah, it does.
I'm really, really happy and satisfied with what we've done. And I can go out and talk to people and not, need bodyguard or something. I don't know. So that's important
Bob,
to me.
Oh no, I love that. I know you can't predict the future, but what do you think the future looks like for you personally?
Well, I'm going to live in a new place.
Yes.
I just found out. No, more. I mean, I just want to live and breathe music. That sounds like stupid shit, but like I want to be able to continue to do this, and I want to be able to write more music, and I want to, like I kind of have like I have like stepdaughters now, and like one of them kind of wants to play guitar, and I'm just like,
that's amazing.
We're gonna get you a guitar and whatever. And then you want, what song? What's your favorite song right now? And she's close to the vest with what she listens to, but like whatever it is, we'll learn how to play on a guitar. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, so that's what I want to. That's how I see my future.
Yeah, just being a badass stepdad.
Sure. Exactly.
Bob, I've super enjoyed this conversation. Like I said earlier, I'm super honored that you give me your time, and I know you got a lot going on, but I really appreciate you pulling back the curtain a little and just letting me talk to you for a little bit. And I really appreciate all the music you put out over the years. It's really been influential in my life, and I know a lot of others. So really appreciate you taking time for me. Hey, listener, thank you so much for tuning in again and again. I really, really appreciate it, guys. It's been an honor to be on this journey with you guys. So thank you again for listening week in and week out. If you'd like to add me on Instagram and Facebook at The Rumors Are True Cast. If you'd like to like and subscribe, you know the drill. If you'd also like to go to the website, www.therumorsartruecast.com. There's links for all the episodes if you're interested in that. So thank you again, listener. Thank you to Bob Nanna. Incredible conversation. So honored to have you on the podcast. It's been a part of a lot of music I've loved over the years, so I really appreciated seeing behind the curtain a little. So thank you again to Bob Nanna. Got some incredible artists on the horizon, guys, and you know it. Nostalgia is still a heck of a drug. The podcast is produced by Wesley Hill, artwork by Jared Chase Bowser, and music by Brian Jaron. This episode is dedicated to the memory of my dear friend, producer, and man of many talents, Brian Jaron.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Shop up to 40% off with minimum purchase and a free professional measure right now at Blinds.com. Plus, pay at your own pace starting at 0% APR with Affirm. Terms apply.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's OmniShade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.